Welcome back to the channel, you lot. Today, we're diving headfirst into the bloody delicious world of caviar. Forget that dry toast and cream cheese nonsense. We're talking about the real deal. Those little black pearls that make your taste buds sing. Whether you're a seasoned caviar connoisseur or a bloody amateur who thinks it's just salty fish eggs, get ready for a wild ride. We're ranking the top 10 caviars, from the most affordable to the ones that'll have you remortgaging your house. Alright, you lot, let's kick things off with a caviar that won't break the bank. American hackleback. Don't let the name fool you. This stuff is a bloody good entry point into the world of caviar. It's got a nice, smooth texture, kind of like a good panna cotta, and a slightly nutty flavour that won't scare your taste buds off. Perfect for a first date when you're trying to impress without looking like a trust fund baby. Next up, we're heading down south to the muddy waters of the Mississippi River for some paddlefish caviar. This stuff is another great option if you're just dipping your toes into the caviar pool. It's got a similar vibe to the hackleback. Smooth, buttery, and with a slightly nutty, almost earthy flavour. Think of it as the hackleback's cooler, more laid-back cousin. Hold on to your hats, you lot, because we're about to spice things up with some bowfin caviar. Hailing from the bayous of Louisiana, this stuff is like a good Cajun dish, full of personality and a little bit of a kick. It's got a firmer texture than the previous two and a slightly brinier, more intense flavour that'll wake up your taste buds. Chapter 4. Kaluga Hybrid Caviar. The new kid on the block. Now we're moving into some more serious caviar territory with Kaluga Hybrid. This stuff is a crossbreed, a bit like a culinary Frankenstein, but don't let that scare you off. It's got a unique flavour profile that's both buttery and slightly sweet, with a hint of that classic brininess. The texture is a bit firmer than the previous contenders, more like a perfectly cooked scallop. Chapter 5. Sevruga Caviar, the gateway to luxury. Alright, you lot, we're officially entering the big leagues now with Sevruga Caviar. This is the real deal. The caviar that whispers, "I've arrived," without shouting it from the rooftops. It's got a delicate, almost creamy texture that melts in your mouth, and a rich, complex flavour that's slightly salty, slightly nutty, and utterly addictive. Chapter 6. Osetra Caviar, the Goldilocks of caviar. Next up, we've got Osetra Caviar, and let me tell you, this stuff is the Goldilocks of the caviar world. It's not too mild, not too intense, it's just bloody perfect. It's got a slightly firmer texture than the Sevruga, with a beautiful pop in your mouth and a flavour that's both rich and nuanced, with hints of hazelnut and a lingering buttery finish. Hold on to your hats, because things are about to get seriously luxurious with Russian Osetra Caviar. This stuff is the real deal. The caviar that Tsars used to gorge themselves on. It's got an intense, almost buttery flavour that coats your mouth like velvet, and a smooth, delicate texture that's simply divine. Chapter 8. White gold caviar, also known as Strataga Bianco, the albino diamond of the sea. Now we're stepping into the realm of the truly rare and exquisite with white gold caviar. This stuff is like the albino diamond of the caviar world. Incredibly rare, incredibly expensive, and absolutely bloody stunning. It's got a delicate, slightly sweet flavour that's unlike anything you've ever tasted, and a creamy, buttery texture that will blow your mind. Chapter 9. Almas Caviar, the Dragon's Eggs. Get ready to remortgage your house, because we've arrived at Almas Caviar, one of the rarest and most expensive foods on the planet. This stuff is harvested from ancient albino beluga sturgeons that live in the Caspian Sea, and it's said to have a flavour that's so exquisite it's almost indescribable. Think of it as the culinary equivalent of finding a unicorn. Chapter 10. Beluga Caviar, the holy grail of caviar. And finally, we've reached the pinnacle of caviar luxury, Beluga Caviar. This stuff is the holy grail, the stuff of legends, the caviar that makes grown men weep with joy. It's got a smooth, buttery texture that's like a religious experience, and a flavour that's so rich, so complex, so utterly divine, it's almost impossible to describe. Well, there you have it, you lot. A crash course in the luxurious world of caviar. From the affordable and accessible to the rare and ridiculously expensive, there's a caviar out there for every palate and every budget. Remember, caviar isn't just about the taste. It's about the experience. It's about savouring the moment, indulging in a little bit of luxury, and pretending you're a bloody king or queen for a few glorious minutes. Now, if you'll excuse me, I've got a tin of beluga with my name on it.